There were 3 rooms. In the last one, there was a richly decorated red throne. On the other side, there was a table with a red tablecloth, upon which lay the garments of the regent, a white leather cuirass with a red cross and a white cloak with another red cross. The candidate walks across this room dressed like a slave, chains hanging from his hands. And the regents say, "Stop, only free men can enter." And the defenders respond, "He is free. He has fled from his oppressors to join the Brotherhood." The room was red and brightly lit. The provincial was seated on the throne, and the other regents were in the middle room. The first room was black. It was used for the preparation of the novice, and in the center upon a platform there was a human skeleton, at whose feet lay a crown and sword. What do you think of these sad spoils? Was he a nobleman or a peasant? The correct thing to do was not to answer. The candidate received the explanation. The human condition is the only thing that matters. After that, the candidate took the oath. From a distance, these rituals seem to be rather naive, and Weishaupt's objectives unobtainable, even risible. But if we continue to analyze the historical events that followed, our laughter might turn to a horrible grimace. In 1783, 4 professors of the Marianus Academy were interrogated at a court of law on account of their belonging to the order. All eventually admitted that the Illuminati abjured Christianity, defended sensual pleasures, liberty, equality, and the right to commit suicide.
The confession was made public and caused a tremendous uproar. How much had the heretics infiltrated the society? What was the reach of their plans for world domination? Who really were these enemies of church and state?
The Elector of Bavaria intended to eradicate this evil as he perceived it, and passed a law prohibiting every kind of secret meeting, a measure that, unfairly or not, affected all of Freemasonry. Finally, by means of another law, he banned the Illuminati altogether. In 1786, the home of Illuminati lawyer von Zwack was raided and various papers and correspondence seized.
But it was a freak event that sealed the destiny of the Illuminati, a bizarre accident that would be taken advantage of by the critics of the order and used to deal them a fatal blow.
On July the 10th, 1785, a mysterious man rode swiftly under the skies of Bavaria. He was the apostate, Abbot Lanz, a friend and personal envoy of Adam Weishaupt and an Illuminati. He never reached his destination. A lightning bolt struck him dead, leaving behind only his charred corpse. Curiously, the papers that he carried were not affected by the fire. When the authorities went through his sack, they found letters and documents that further incriminated the members of the order. Thus Weishaupt could not avoid the disclosure of his true objectives, together with confidential information about his order's most important members. His plans for world domination and the abolition of the state, religion and private property, all penned in his very own handwriting, had come to light. Thus began the Illuminati panic, never to end.
The episode of the lightning-struck rider sealed the fate for the Illuminati. Their world seemed to be coming to an end, but the facts that followed showed that in spite of these setbacks, Weishaupt's influence remained in full force and made him practically untouchable.
In 1785, Weishaupt was dismissed from his university and expelled from Bavaria. Amazingly, instead of sending him to prison, the authorities offered him a compensation payment of 800 florins per year, which he rejected. Weishaupt went into exile, avowing that the order would return 10 times more powerful. Whether or not he kept his word is still a matter for speculation.
Bearing in mind the charges that were levied against them, the lightness of the sentences passed is quite suspicious. Some even had the good fortune to be compensated with ready money. Perhaps the order already had enough political and economic leverage to press on the authorities. The fact is that their enforced exile had an unwanted consequence: the dispersion of the Illuminati to the four corners of the globe.
Adam Weishaupt found a safe haven in Regensburg, where he published a pamphlet in which he clarified the charitable principles of the order. He then took up residence in Gotha, whose duke was an Illuminatus. The official story says that he abandoned all political activity and made his peace with the Catholic Church. Thereafter to lead a tranquil life, far removed from conspiracies.
Such a luxurious and peaceful exile strikes as a suspiciously serene end for the leading conspirator of his time. It is reasonable to suppose that Weishaupt could have kept on working despite his low profile. And even if his retirement had been genuine, the order of the Illuminati already had a life of its own, as would soon be detected during the one episode that shook Western civilization the most and lay the groundwork for a true new world order: the French Revolution.
During its heyday, the Order of the Illuminati had extended its tentacles of influence to France. There it recruited, among others, Frederick the Dietrich, the mayor of Strasbourg, Mirabeau, the politician, and the Duke of Orleans, who recruited followers to the Parisian Freemasonry lodges. The strength of our order lies in its secrecy. It should never appear anywhere under its own name, but always shrouded in another name and another occupation. Adam Weishaupt. The connection between the Illuminati and the Jacobins during the French Revolution of 1789 was denounced by one of the order's most fervent detractors, Abbot Augustin Barruel. Likewise, the Scottish Freemason, author John Robison, devoted a long and verbose chapter of his work to what he regarded as the Illuminati's influence on the revolution. Robison maintained that Weishaupt and the Club of the Illuminati, together with the Club of the Jacobins, controlled the National Assembly, and from Paris ruled all of France.
One wonders if the Illuminati acted in good faith, seeking to free the French from royal oppression, or if the revolution was merely a convenient vehicle for its plans for creating a new world order, free from monarchy and religion, but under their control.
Little more is known about the order, since all the files related to it were conveniently destroyed during Allied bombing of German cities during the Second World War.
Who were the Illuminati? Heroes fighting for liberty and reason, or demented tyrants who sought to enslave the world? The answer has as many facets as there are ways of interpreting history, and the truth is that time has not helped to solve the enigma.
A short time before its apparent disbanding, the Order of the Illuminati had lodges in more than 25 European cities, from Munich to London, including Vienna, Paris, and Naples. Pretty soon its name became associated with other illustrious names, and powerful clans and families that to this day decide the destiny of the world.
Here is where the official history ends and the tracks of the Illuminati disappear. Adam Weishaupt died in 1830, apparently removed from any secret activity. But people noticed that the Illuminati plan for world domination coincided suspiciously with many of the events that apparently arose naturally by the will of the people.
Princes and nations will disappear without violence from the earth. The human race will become one family, and the world the abode of reasonable men. Adam Weishaupt. Up until its apparent dissolution in 1790, the Order of the Illuminati boasted members in all the important European cities. The Catholic Church's attempt to root out and destroy the Order, and the political persecution of its most important leaders had precisely the opposite effect of what was intended. The Illuminati were scattered to the four winds, and in the shadows they moved like fish in water.
Even after the apparent dismissal of the Order, there were many who doubted that they had really ceased to operate. Their infiltration had been so widespread that every Freemason could now be suspected of being an undercover Illuminati. So the whole of Freemasonry was proscribed, and there was more to come. The Order's reputation quickly spread to the New World. Books by Abbot Augustine Burrell and John Robison alerting the world to the imminent Illuminati peril were published in the recently founded United States, generating panic among their readers. The paranoia had crossed the Atlantic.
In 1776, the year in which Weishaupt founded his order and began to infiltrate Freemasonry, the United States declared its independence. Many of its founding fathers were Freemasons. It is not known if some of them were subsequently recruited by the Illuminati. What is known is that many American religious communities felt threatened by the freedom of worship guaranteed by the new Constitution, which they denounced as part of an Illuminati conspiracy. In 1798, when the second president of the USA, John Adams, established May the 9th as a day of fasting and worship to implore the heavens' mercy and blessing for the imperiled nation, fingers were pointed at the order founded by Weishaupt, and a wave of panic flowed across New England. We should strive to do all we possibly can to endeavour the advance of the Illuminati in all important public positions. Adam Weishaupt. In Boston, Reverend Jedediah Morse dedicated his sermons to the Illuminati threat. The media echoed his words, but no firm evidence of Illuminati conspiracy was ever uncovered.
An immensely vast, rich and potentially powerful country where the practice of Freemasonry was widespread and accepted was certainly a fertile land in which to sow the Illuminati seed. Up to what point was the Illuminati panic of New England exclusively based on absurd conspiracy theories promoted by zealous religious leaders?
It was none other than Thomas Jefferson who, after reading Abbot Barrowell, came out in defense of Adam Weishaupt. In 1800, Jefferson wrote to his friend Madison, "Adam Weishaupt believes in the indefinite perfectibility of man. He thinks he may in time be rendered so perfect that he will be able to govern himself in every circumstance, so as to injure none, and to do all the good he can, to leave government no occasion to exercise their powers over him, and of course to render political government useless. This, you know, is not far removed from our own ideals." Jefferson's main opponents, the Federalist Party, founded by Alexander Hamilton, proclaimed that Jefferson, as well as the Democratic Republican Party, were all controlled by the Illuminati. Nothing was ever proven. Jefferson's party is the forerunner of the Democrats and Republican parties that today take turns to govern the USA.
The Illuminati paranoia faded out in the 19th century, but almost 100 years later it was reborn, stronger than ever.
In the early 20th century, English right-wing writer Nestor Webster stated without offering any proof that since 1786, a lodge of the Order of the Illuminati had become established in Virginia and 14 other American cities. According to her, this had given rise to a hidden theocracy of Jews, Kabbalists, Masons, anarchists, Illuminati, occultists, and heretics. With her ignorance and racism, Nestor Webster contributed to a renewal of interest in the order she manifestly abhorred, and formally introduced anti-Semitism as an important element in conspiracy theorizing.